car, curds, and whey. I don't understand. Oh, hello there. I'm Nick the Goat Mazesco. I almost forgot my name.
I'm David Jesus Clatterbug. His confusion almost infected me, and I almost forgot my name.
Aha! We are the Bracket Guys. We certainly appreciate y'all tuning in.
What? You turned southern.
Thank
y'all for tuning in.
I do many different accents. I'm multi-talented. I'm here till Thursday. But we certainly appreciate you turning in. We got 2 videos going up tonight.
That's true.
The Chipotle and Incredible and Woody's Oasis. The one we're filming right now is Woody's Oasis versus Fiesta Charra. As always, visit our WordPress page. We always want to hear comments from you guys. We are looking at a couple different ways to go about this in the future. Looking at possibly doing podcasts. We know that these videos are sometimes kind of lengthy, so we feel like podcasts might be an effective way.
Listen to it in your car. Download it, whatnot. So let us know what would work for you, how it would be a convenient way for you to do that. We're going to keep doing the videos, obviously, but we're going to try and add on some other things, try to make this as accessible as possible. So just keep us in the loop. Again, Facebook, the YouTube comments, the comments on the WordPress, all these different ideas. Just keep in touch. Let us know what'll work for the fans.
Yep. As we're also looking at possibly doing some live stuff. So always looking into different things, trying to keep this exciting, trying to keep people interested. So. But as always, we will continue on with the bracket. Got a new sort of scoring system.
Which you'll see when
you see the first 2. We've kind of done a scoreboard, but with iMovie and all that, the editing is kind of a pain in the butt. So we came up with a new, hopefully effective scoring system. So, shall we go on with the matchup?
Let's get it on.
All right, this is Woody's versus Fiesta Charra. Alright, so today we got the matchup of Woody's versus Fiesta Charra, 2 very different restaurants, a Mediterranean restaurant and a Mexican restaurant. As you can see, we kind of got a new scoring system set up, partially because we could not keep count during the taping, so we wouldn't know.
With the math skills.
You go through 8 categories, you forget who gets in, it's a thing. And plus also easier for editing, all that stuff, so a lot of different reasons. So what we're going to have, we have 2 different colored poker chips. I got the lovely red ones. Mr. Clatterbuck has the blue ones. And whichever one gets the vote for a specific category, it'll go into that bowl, and whichever one at the end will line up the chips and see who wins.
Right.
All right? So, Mr. Clatterbuck, first category.
First category is a service at these 2 restaurants. Woody's Oasis, we'll first of all say, does have 2 locations. And I actually have been to both of them. So this is going to be a problem. So we're actually going to be talking about both of them. The service at Woody's has been very good at both places. I have had no complaints at Fiesta Charra as well. Been a little bit more matter of fact, which is fine, which is perfectly fine.
I'm gonna have to take those chips away. I'm gonna have to hold them, aren't I?
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Anywho, I wasn't making noise. I think overall, I had no complaints about the service at Fiesta Charra, but I think at Woody's it's always just is very, very friendly, so that's going to be, my vote will be for Woody's.
Woody's is closer to me.
The monitor flips our camera, so I have trouble with the images.
Woody's
anyway, got it. Anyway, go
on. I'm also going to give my vote to Woody's, mainly because Fiesta Charra, the service when I went there just wasn't that good. Drinks were not refilled too often. Woody's kind of we actually went to Woody's today.
Yes.
Got kind of a knock because while it's cute that they don't use the frozen patties and they actually use real, I don't know why that takes longer. I get that they don't use frozen pre-cooked patties, but it was still 15 minutes for the burger.
Yeah, I don't really know if that's.
It took a while for her to get back, but nonetheless,
I wasn't really focused on that because that wasn't. That's a good point, and I don't know. I was going to work that in somewhere. The service wasn't something. The service was very nice. The waitress can't actually make the food come faster, so I don't know where that go. I guess that is service, and the burgers were slow.
But this was the first time I'd ever had anything really slow at Woody's.
Right.
I usually go to the one on Trowbridge, and they always have that. So my vote's gonna go to Woody's. We move on. We go to the variety. I think it's very similar. I think Fiesta Charra is a very traditional sit-down Mexican restaurant, and lots of different things you can get. Lots of different. It's all Mexican food, obviously. Woody's kind of an interesting mix. The one down on Trowbridge has pretty solely Mediterranean.
Right.
I think it's all Mediterranean. Whereas the one up on Grand River has Mediterranean, but also does burgers and fries. Both places have it. The truth matter, in terms of variety, I'm going to have to give one to each. Neither one stands out in terms of variety. I think they're both very, very similar in that sense, so I think I'm going to have to give mine to both.
I mean, I'm with you as well, though. I mean, these are two, especially compared to the one we did eat at today, which was on the Grand River. Substantial menus on each one, multiple pages of Mexican dishes at Fiesta Charra. And again, like I said, a variety of Mediterranean and sort of more American traditional dishes at Woody's. But yeah, variety at both places. You didn't go to either place and go like, man, well, I guess if I don't like the three things you serve, I'm out of luck. That's certainly not the impression. Hard to argue with giving a chip to both on that category. For location, my understanding is there's only the one Fiesta Charra.
Might be two.
There might be two.
There might be two. The one that I've been to, the only one I have been to is up in DeWitt,
Yes.
right next to the DeWitt school campus, right by the middle school and high school.
As far as I'm concerned, I mean, I guess if you live in DeWitt, that's convenient, but I think most of what we've been talking about has been a little more East Lansing focused, especially near the university, near the downtown, is Woody's, both on Trowbridge and on Grand River. I think for me, that makes again, if you live close, again, all these places, if you live close to it, it's the best location. But that notwithstanding, I think most people in the East Lansing area are closer to Grand River than they are to DeWitt. So that's going to be my vote. Again, will be at Woody's.
For me, you look at the two places. The Woody's has the two locations. One's right on Grand River, very much what we talked about with sushi and Chipotle. They're very much right in the heart of things. The Trowbridge one, right off the highway, right there. So if you're coming to campus, it's right there. And it's a gorgeous location. Fiesta Charra, it's a very lovely location. I'm gonna have to give mine to Woody's though. Mainly because the Fiesta Charra up in DeWitt, set aside the DeWitt argument, because that's sort of a personal thing.
Right.
I mean, a lot of these, there are people who may be watching this that aren't that close to East Lansing.
Sure.
So if you live in downtown Lansing, if you live in Okemos, Grand River might not be very convenient to you.
Right.
So being in DeWitt isn't really a deterrent for me, but the big one is it wasn't really on a main drag. It was sort of, the only way I've ever gone there is because I work up at the high school, is winding through the school campus. It's not obviously on a big road that I can see, so it's not a well-traveled road. So it's sort of, it's the epitome of a restaurant that you have to know you're going there.
Right.
Whereas Woody's, you could drive by and go, man, that sounds really good, I'm going to go there. So that's why I'm going to give mine to Woody's.
Fair enough.
Last one, returnability. Between the two, I don't really think this is tough for me. I'm going to give mine to Woody's again. Mainly because it's the argument that I've been using for a lot of them. Fiesta Charra didn't stand out to me. It was good, wasn't great, and there are a lot of Mexican restaurants. And the amount of Mediterranean food that I've had, Woody's stands far ahead of what I've had in terms of Mediterranean food. I know some people don't like it. I know I've talked to friends who've gone, man, Sultan's is so much better, whatever this. The Woody's I went to, it was the first time I really had Mediterranean, like true Mediterranean food, and I loved it. And that was the epitome of a restaurant. I never found a need to go to another one.
Right.
And so I think that's sort of why I'd give that to
For me, for returnability, I am also going to go with Woody's, but for a different reason. And we're going to get more into this at the end in another category. But I will just say they have a big specials menu and very much a day-by-day specials menu. So you looked at that, and there's a lot of reasons like, oh, I came today, but I'm going to come back on Wednesday, I'm going to come back on Friday because this thing or the other thing is on sale. And to me, that's a good way to make me want to come back when, because again, the prices there are normally, and we'll get to again bang for the buck later, but the prices are fine. But you get a lot of discounts, you come back on a different day and you can try something else, try something new. So for me, that's my returnability would be at Woody's. All right. Quality when served. This one is again pretty even for me, and again, quality when served is more for me, honestly, a category where my assumption is that most basically functional restaurants are probably going to get a point in this category because, like, taste is a different thing, but for quality when served, if you can bring the food to me successfully hot, the answer is it shouldn't have to be a category except for the part where you get restaurants that can't pull this off, and that's obviously problematic. So for me, both of these, from what I can recall of both places, I've never had a time where I went, why is my food cold? Why is my food not ready? So for me, they're both going to get a point for that. Didn't have any like humongous complaints in this particular category.
Here's my problem. This category, I tend to go off of not only consistency, but also I look at the best I've gone there and the worst I've gone there, and I go, does anyone stand out? Both places, the best times I've gone there, it's been fine. It's been nothing spectacular. I mean, Woody's, a lot of the time I've gotten it to go, so it's sort of, I can't really judge it based on the to-go orders because then I have to drive home and I don't really know how it was. I've never really, so I'm going to go with the times I've eaten at both places. I went to Fiesta Charra, I ordered the chimichanga. It wasn't really fried enough. It wasn't even close to fried enough. It was in between soft, like a taco or a burrito, and crunchy, like a chimichanga. So it was sort of stale, like if you left the tortillas out too long. And then, just today when we went up to Woody's, my burger, I ordered it medium well. It was emphatically burned. It was dry. It wasn't very good. So in that sort of sense, I'm not going to give a point to anybody. I don't feel like either one stands out in that sort of sense. So I'm not going to.
I think that's fair enough, and I think that is one of the important things you really pick up on, especially doing something like this. It's the times when it gets screwed up are the ones that stick with you, and you don't want to go back to a restaurant and be like, hey, this is usually pretty good, except for when it's not. That can really be a turnoff. And
yeah.
I think
today
this
it
is
was
the
very
first
much
time that you've had a non-Mediterranean dish at Woody's, as I recall.
Yes.
And so that didn't really play out.
And that was also my problem, is that I went to Woody's and I ordered what is a very simple dish.
Right.
I didn't order anything. It was a burger. I've gone to many places and have burgers very well done. I go to McDonald's and they do burgers very well.
Right.
It was not cooked very well. I only ate half of it, which for anybody who sits with me, that's a problem. It's bad at that.
I almost called a doctor.
So that was my problem, so I'm not going to give a point to
That's fair
that
enough.
one. And I guess, if we go there again before the next round and Woody's can up it a notch, maybe I'll
Sure,
take
fair enough.
everything. Taste-wise, again, I'm trying not to let the bad burger this morning sway me in any way. Woody's, the usual dish, I usually get their chicken shawarma with rice. Very good, very flavorful. I also, they give you two sides. I usually get their hummuses. I think their hummuses are very good. I think their chicken shawarma is very good. I think their rice is usually well cooked, which is, I find, is a simple dish, but is messed up by a lot of restaurants.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So, in terms of Fiesta Charra, it was fine. I'm going to give mine to Woody's. Woody's stands out to me more. In my
And I think I am as well, and it is very much what you said. I mean, I had a burger today as well. I'm a little bit less. I'm not less discriminating. I mean, it wasn't particularly flavorful, but it was fine. When I've had Mediterranean food there, I ordered a couple of the little a la carte items today, and they were, especially for the price, they were fine. Fiesta Charra just didn't really stand out to me, and so I'm just more comfortable. It
was the epitome of you didn't mess it up.
Right.
But it's not like if somebody asked me how was the food at Fiesta Charra, I'd go, I ate it.
Yes. Exactly.
So, bang for the buck.
Bang for the buck. For me, I'm starting at Woody's just because it's fresher in my mind again. I thought the prices were very reasonable, especially like I said, they have a big extensive specials menu. So for a burger, and you could get fries or hummus, and I ordered hummus, which was not so much a mistake because it was good, but it was like every chickpea in Greece died to make the amount of hummus they gave me on this plate. It was enormous.
Their economy's going down, so you got to get.
I guess you got to make your money somehow. So I thought, and so the appetizers I thought at Woody's were a little overpriced, but then the a la carte items were, on the other hand, very affordable. So Woody's was good for me. Again, Fiesta Charra is just the Fiesta Charra problem they're running into is they're just very sort of average for a sit-down Mexican restaurant. Nothing really caught my eye as a great deal. It wasn't exorbitant by any means, but for me, again, the specials menu is really what's going to push this towards Woody's for me.
Same. I mean, so I think the prices at Woody's are good. The big one I get is I go to Fiesta Charra, I order food, I get the food, and it's good. It's a good amount. I go to Woody's, I have so much food left over.
Right.
Especially when I go to the one on Trowbridge and I get the chicken shawarma, I then have hummus left over for at least a week. a lot of times have chicken left over. They give you pita bread. They give you it's just a lot of food for $11, which I mean it's sort of the Chipotle argument I had yesterday is that I always leave feeling full, and Woody's goes one step further. I always have food left over.
Right, exactly.
So, and then we move to the special one. I don't think this is going to be tough for either of us.
No.
I'm just going to go ahead and Woody's. Their special menu, the one down on Trowbridge, does not have any.
Right.
But the one on Grand River, oh my sweet lord! First of all, today was $2 domestic bottles.
And by
not clear what domestic.
They're not okay. So we'll say this: a knock on Woody's. They're not clear on where we live. Domestic bottles.
In fairness to Woody's, a lot of places not clear on where we live.
True.
Which we will get into.
We'll get to
in
that.
the Old Chicago.
Well, we don't actually have. We'll do a bonus review of Old Chicago at some point.
It's in there.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's right. We actually do. Oh, yes, that'll be fun. Anywho, yes. So under domestic bottles, you listed, your basics, your Miller Lights and your Budweisers and your Molson Canadians and
unclear what domestic.
Step back a second. But other than that, but very affordable. Labatt also not. But doesn't at least Labatt doesn't have.
Labatt has a giant maple leaf.
It doesn't have the word Canadian in the menu, in the name. But
the bottle is a giant Canadian flag.
Yeah, it's not really better, really. But fine, whatever. $2 beers, we were okay with it. But yeah, just generally, I know that martinis were on special today. They have pitchers of beer that are on special on different days.
They do buckets. There's just so, and it's every day. There are 5 different
5 or 6 different specials every day. You're like, oh, well, fair enough.
So it was very impressive. I mean,
and typically we don't.
And we had not been to the Grand River one until today.
True.
And now we're looking at it, and it goes back to the returnability. We're going. Let's come back here all the time because.
Yes.
And it's mainly that today. In fairness, the burger was pretty bad that I had, but it was only $6 today.
Yes. And we typically don't. When we say special in this category, it doesn't typically mean the menu specials. This means the menu specials.
Yeah. And Fiesta Charra had some days that they had special Mexican beer prices, but Woody's again just so memorable. Not just because we went there today, but because of how good this.
How good it was. It was sort of mind blowing to look at this menu and go, wow, that's very long, very extensive. So yeah, all right, so on Woody's.
Let's stack the chips and see how close it is.
All right.
I'm sure this is a close battle.
I'm getting ready to
all of you at home should be paying attention to this.
Those of you on the edge of your seats need to, work in your comprehension. Yes, look at this. This is this.
That's not even close. Our winner today, moving on to the second round to face American Crepes, it's going to be Woody's Oasis.
Woody's Oasis.
Alright, so with the final score of 16-3, Woody's blows out Fiesta Charra. They will move on to face the American Crepes in the second round. In case anyone was interested, the final tally was, in terms of Woody's, it was 9-7. David gave 9 to Woody's and 2 to Fiesta Charra. I gave 7 to Woody's and 1 to Fiesta Charra. So but for both of us, pretty clear in our minds. Very interesting. So they will move on. Tomorrow we will have the battle of the 7, 10, and 4. The last one of our 4 food bracket. This will be the 7-seed Rex and 10-seed qualification. Well, we certainly do thank you all for tuning in. David, you just got it back. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Seriously, what?